I had to repeat that because that's
amazing.
a good
That's such
line.
a great line.
In terms of music, it's really cool because I think he does something that a lot of rappers currently in the modern era of the West, I'm not too familiar with the modern era of rap in China yet, but in the modern era of rap in the West, a lot of rappers have lost this, where you can be very poetic, you can be very literate, you can be very complex, you can provide many different layers, you can be very musically complex, musically complete.
You can become rappers can become a spoken word magicians in my mind, because they make spoken word rhythmical that a lot of poetry recitals lack sometimes, obviously, given the fact that it's poetry, it rhymes, it has its natural rhythm derived from the Shakespearean styles. But to begin with, I feel like as hip-hop evolved, it lost the storytelling purpose of it,
which was originally what it was. Because if you look at the rappers that are sort of the old school of the previous generation that are still currently very popular, they began through rap battling in the US. And rap battling, much of it was about telling a story of your opponent and how inferior he is to you and how humiliating it would be to even attempt to challenge you, and you would humiliate him through words.
And in another perspective, you also had the rappers that wanted to tell their own upbringing stories and like the trifles of living the way they did.
Well, that was step two. That was like the albums, but they originated from rap battles, and then they proceed and they gain popularity, and then proceed to go into the studio and start creating what Valeska is mentioning. It doesn't just have to be about car, money, drugs, and women.
Sex, yeah.
It doesn't have to be that. Rap is such a beautiful genre, for real. It's a very special genre. However, in order to do what Jay Chu has been able to do throughout his career, you do need a musician. You do need someone with a specific pedigree of music. You do need someone with a specific type of academia behind him, because he's very well read. He's very literate. He's not illiterate. He's not ignorant when it comes to music. He's actually very well versed in anything to do with music. So he deserves a lot of credit, and I'm very happy that someone like him has been a pioneer in Asia and in the Chinese music industry, because you need idols like him to inspire the next generation.
Correct.
That you can be just as complete. It just takes a little bit of time, because you will need to garner and absorb more knowledge, and this takes years. There's no shortcuts to this.
That's right.
I think a lot of people want instant results, but when you want to do music that becomes classics, that becomes worshipped, you need to be able to put the hours in the workshop.
I totally agree. I also feel like it comes from the natural inclination of the artist, where its natural influences might be at. So, for example, you can hear a lot of those classical musical influences coming through a lot of his compositions, old and new, actually.
Nocturne, right?
Yeah, some of his new compositions are actually even deeper. They tend to go a little bit deeper into those classical music influences, and I think given the fact that those things have caused natural curiosity in him, and him letting those curiosities simmer and marinate in his music, let him explore through all these variations, allows for music to be rounded and complex and easily digestible at the same time.
J2, baby!